Yesterday, I was walking to my interview. I saw a starving dog on the way with no limbs, teeth, tail, eyes, deprived of food, water, and shelter. Everyone ignored it, but I couldn't. I stopped to feed the dog and missed the interview. When I got home, I got a phone call from the company. They offered me the job. I was puzzled. I came in to meet the CEO the next day. It turns out the CEO was the dog from yesterday. You never know how one decision can change your whole life. I urge all of you today to reflect on your decisions because you never know where they will take you. Thoughts?
If that video doesn't sum up what LinkedIn has become, I don't know what does. So anyways, this video is talking about how LinkedIn has completely lost the plot on what it means to use the platform. And while LinkedIn is another form of social media, I do want to say that people are starting to just abuse the platform and also post a lot of content that doesn't really need to be on there, or people are starting to see it as a way to gain a following and make that their whole entire personality. So let's get into it right now. So a really popular thing that you'll see on LinkedIn is people just copy and pasting the same post over and over again, making it sound like they're the original author, encourage engagement, and it's bullshit. We see right through it and it's annoying. Like, here's an example. An employee asked me if he could work from home permanently. Here is what I told him, and then you'll see more. And they're by 3 different people. I'll say Bridget Hyacinth. I don't know how you really pronounce her last name. She's one of the worst where she does this copy and paste, feel good, delusional stuff to make job seekers feel good about themselves, when really she's just encouraging false hope and spreads a lot of misinformation because she's a thought leader. Anyways, you can see just like here, it's the same copy and paste bullshit over and over again. It's not unique. It's not original. We see right through it. Why are we always copy and pasting it? Oh, that's right. Engagement. They want to build a following and make it their whole entire personality on fucking LinkedIn, which is a job search and networking platform. So here's another like stupid unhinged thing that I've seen before. So here it is. Conspiracy of the day. Sunscreen is a scam. Hear me out. Oh yes, I cannot wait to hear you out. Overemphasis on SPF ratings. The sunscreen industry often promotes products with very high SPF ratings, suggesting that they offer significantly more protection. However, studies have shown difference in UVB protection, blah, 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 blah. The chemical ingredients and health concerns. Many sunscreens contain chemical ingredients, such as oxybenzone and I don't know how you pronounce that. And then there's an environmental impact. And oh, and guess what? These same companies that claim these chemicals are safe strongly discourage pregnant women from using their products. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, SPF is absolutely necessary to prevent you from getting skin cancer. This is just a fear-mongering tactic, and I bet this is something you would see in a TikTok video of some sort of health coach influencer who has no credentials spreading bullshit information. Well, guess what? They're doing it in LinkedIn form. Well, I do understand the environmental impact that some sunscreens can be really harmful to sea life, and that there are not a lot of reef-safe sunscreens, but there are reef-safe sunscreens out there that are fine. I just want you to understand that there are ways around that, and there are things that are being done to prevent that. And I need to like actually look at a sunscreen bottle to see if it strongly discourages pregnant women from using it. Let's take a look here. So here is my vacation sunscreen. Let's see. It says, you know, apply for 15 minutes before sun exposure. Do it again 80 minutes after swimming, and do it every other 2 hours after towel drying. Limit your time in the sun. Children under 6 months of age should ask a physician. Yeah, nope, I don't see anything about pregnant women not being able to use this. So what does this have to do with the job market, with networking? Nothing. So this is just rage bait, in my opinion, just to spark engagement and controversy so they can generate likes and followers so they can buy whatever snake oil bullshit course it is that they're probably selling. This girl, her name's Layla. We're just gonna call her Layla. I've seen her post before, and God, is she just like a LinkedIn lunatic. I had an assistant who made a mistake. It cost us $20,000. The moment she realized the mistake, she came to me and started crying and apologizing. My response was, it happens, so what are we going to do the next time? That's all I said, which caught her by surprise. She asked, how are you not mad at me? And the answer to that was also simple. Me being mad at you doesn't accomplish anything. You were already mad at yourself. When an employee makes a mistake, your role as a leader is to not point out the mistake and explain why it was wrong. In the heat of the moment, they take it personally. Instead, show your employee where they are in terms of skill set and where they have to be to prevent these errors from happening. How would you have handled this situation? Alex, I'll take things for 500. That didn't happen, please. This has like this little tagline, what would you have done in this situation? Encouraging engagement, baiting viewers and accounts to comment just to further drive her reach. Like, I get the message behind it, but it doesn't serve the value you think it does. Okay, here's one from a startup founder, and let me tell you, startup founders, CEOs, which are pretty much like, you know, a self-employed position that people give themselves, are some of the worst people who post on LinkedIn. So here we go. Tough pill to swallow. Those who are using the weekends to level up mentally, spiritually, and physically will always and forever run circles around those who use the weekend for cheap thrills. Saturday and Sunday make up 28.57% of the week. That's over a fourth of our week. Habits compound, lifestyles compound. How can I expect to compete at the highest level if I'm taking over a fourth of my week off? Why change routine and habits simply because it's the weekend? Before anyone comes at me talking about balance, balance is important. Burnout is real. This is not meant to be all or nothing. Live intentionally, live with purpose. Daily actions need to align with long-term goals. Otherwise, they're unattainable. The dogs are moving with purpose Saturday and Sunday the same way they would on Monday or Tuesday. Happy Saturday. I didn't realize people weren't allowed to look forward to the weekend and to look forward to taking time off from work. Work can be draining for people. Even if people do love their jobs, there is nothing wrong with looking forward to taking time off from work and being able to use that whatever it is. Who said it was cheap thrills? Like, it's just so privileged of you to think that of somebody. And I really hate that this post kind of promotes hustle culture in a way. And this is kind of the bullshit that I'm talking about, where these people have to act like that they're more superior than the regular working class because there's some founder like, oh, I need to work harder all the time. It's always the startup people that say shit like this. Always. Always. A CRO. Of course, a C-level person. Always having something to say. Stop thinking your prospects so much. I see emails that look like this. Thank you so much for your time today, John. I'm so immensely grateful that you spent your valuable minutes with me, a lowly salesperson. I cannot wait to speak with you again on Thursday. I'll be counting down the minutes. #blessed. Okay, slight exaggeration, but not far off. Being polite is fine, but we also want to maintain our status in the sales process. Excessive gratitude will lower your status, and also it's a waste of valuable space in an email. Hint, if you get ghosted a lot, you have a low status. Instead, just start your emails like this. Hi, John. Great chatting today. Here are my takeaways and proposed next steps. 1, 2, 3 next steps. Cheers, Kyle. Nobody gives a shit about your status. If you are professional in your emails, I can guarantee you you're not being ghosted because you have low status or low value. There's nothing wrong with showing gratitude for a meeting that you had with one of your prospects, and that's how you retain them. Do I agree you probably shouldn't be very ass-kissy? Sure. But I don't think that's what was really the point of this message. It's saying, haha, you're a lowly salesperson, so therefore you suck. Nobody cares about you or it's going to take you seriously because you're a lowly salesman because you got low status. No. And anyone who thinks that way, you should probably go to another company or fire that client, because why would you want to put yourself in that situation? I know I wouldn't. So I would not want to work for people who think that I'm beneath them because of some status. Like, I'm sorry, no normal actual human being thinks like that. They do not. Okay, so here was one that recently went viral not too long ago, and it is so nauseating. I'm just gonna read the top things, not read the whole entire descriptions, because again, it'll be posted here. I proposed to my girlfriend this weekend. Here's what it taught me about B2B sales. Be so for surreal right now. Like a well-run sales cycle, key milestones must be met throughout the relationship to ensure a closed-won end of the status. Prospecting, discovery, demo, pricing, negotiations, handling objections, and closing. Reminder, after the deal is closed, there's a lot of work to do. The journey continues with planning and constant communications to ensure ongoing satisfaction. Follow for more tips. You see what they did there? The fact that you're comparing you having a wonderful milestone that you want to celebrate on the internet, comparing it to B2B sales. God, if my future husband did that, I would be so annoyed. I wouldn't break up with him. I'd be like, can you not compare like our beautiful relationship to fucking work or to B2B sales or something stupid like that? This is what I'm talking about. People have truly lost the plot on LinkedIn. We don't need to turn beautiful milestones into life work lessons such as B2B sales. I'm sorry, that is just unhinged behavior. I got two more that I want to share. Okay, so this one went viral about a year ago, and this one genuinely came up on my newsfeed. And as somebody who is in recruiting, this one really bothered me, and I just couldn't stop laughing because I'm like, this isn't gonna work. This is one of the worst things you could do as a candidate in the job market, so let's get into this, okay? So this girl basically sent a resume on a cake to Nike. She literally made an edible resume cake, and Nike was having a huge celebration for JDI Day, and there were some famous athletes there. She did some research and found a division within Nike called Valiant Labs, which is a startup incubator for Nike ideas. She said they're currently not hiring for any positions on that team, but I wanted to find some way for the team to know who I was. What better way than to send a cake to a big party? I was brainstorming with my former colleague when he said, Carly, do better. This is a creative place. Show up in a creative way. I'll take things that didn't happen for 200. He was right, and the brainstorming began. How could I get an edible resume on top of a cake delivered to a party that I wasn't invited to the team I wanted to go on to from North Carolina all the way to Beaverton, Oregon? I found a grocery store that makes cakes with edible pictures on top when we all know Instacart delivers. The best part of this story is that Denise was the Instacart driver that day, and I'm so grateful she was. I knew navigating Nike's large campus was a feat, but combine a giant party with tons of people on top of that adds another layer of complexity to this delivery. I talked to Denise on the phone, and she said to me, Carly, I know this is important to you, and I will do whatever it takes to get this cake to where it needs to be. When Denise was asked to leave the cake on the table at the front desk, she said, no, I need to see this go into their hands. I promised Carly I would get this cake to the right person. Denise navigated the Nike campus all while having a sleeping child in one arm and a half-sheet cake in the other. Regardless if I get a job at Nike, the best thing to hear that day was Denise saying, you've inspired me. This was meant to be. I am a mom and I am tired of doing Instacart. I know I have more abilities and qualifications to get something better, so I'm glad this worked for the both of us. Delivering that cake that day inspired one person, and maybe this post will inspire more. Helping people realize their potential is what I love to do. At the end of the day, it's not about the cake at all. It's about making things happen and taking a chance outside of the box. Denise did it. She did whatever it took to help me get that cake to Nike, and that is what I do. This is why I'm different than the pack, because whatever it is, I get it done. So much to unpack here. So if you know what Beaverton is, it's in the Portland metro area, which is where I live, Portland. And I live about, I want to say 10 to 15 minutes away from Nike's headquarters, and I do in fact know recruiters who have worked at Nike or still currently work at Nike. And I can tell you that I've talked to them and they have said, yeah, this is absolutely no way to get a job at Nike, especially for a team that wasn't even hiring. So what is the point in sending this bribery cake for you to think like, oh, this will get my foot in the door with Nike and it will allow me to build connections with people at the company and get a job? No, 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 that is not how that works. And I say this because I've been in recruiting. And let's get something straight. You took your time to send a cake from North Carolina, a state on the opposite side of the country from Oregon, to send it to a private corporate party that you were not invited to, where the security guard did not want the Instacart delivery girl to go in further because of, well, security measures, because she's somebody who people don't know at the company. And there was a reason why they said, leave it here. And she goes, no, 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 I have to bring it to the hands of this person. Well, the person did get it, and there was a picture of the person who got it, but I want to tell you something. She didn't get a job at Nike, nor did that cake get her any offers. She even made a post about it. A follow-up post, that is. This post went so viral that people were just eating this up, thinking like, oh my god, you're so inspirational. I love this. When in reality, this is bribery at its finest. This sends a really bad message to job seekers, thinking like, this is what they need to do in a shitty job market. They need to go above their means and spend money to make themselves stand out like this, and think that they have to send gifts to people who work at the company on hiring teams in order for them to get noticed. No. You want to know how you can get noticed? You can build connections on LinkedIn the right way and connect with people, or you can apply to jobs that you're interested in, that you're qualified for, hopefully, and send your resume. And if your resume shares that you are qualified for the job, you will stand out. But candidates are going to see this and think that this is what they have to do in order to get a job, especially at a company like Nike. No. There were just so many things that were absolutely wrong with this post. And this woman went so viral that even news stories covered it. And it's clear that this is what this woman wanted. She just wanted likes and attention. And it is just so frustrating that this is what LinkedIn has become, where people have lost the plot. I hope she's doing well. I hope she got a job at some point, because this was about a year ago. But I'm telling you, this is something you do not do. This is unhinged behavior at its finest. And as someone who's in the recruiting space, or was in the recruiting space, I had a lot to say about this one a year ago, and it is still a ridiculous, cringeworthy story to this day. So I got one more that I wanted to share. I just saw this recently, and it was the biggest eye roll. So this says, I just realized that I applied to a job with my AOL email address. Yes, I have an AOL from the 90s, and I use it for junk emails. So do you think I'll get a response, LOL? Update, I got an auto rejection smiley face, and I know it's not because of my email, LOL. What was the point? What was the point in posting this? I swear, people have just gotten so sad with this market, and just so we're clear, this job market in the corporate space is bullshit. There's a reason as to why I left it to go into hairstyling to begin with. But saying things like this, it serves no value or purpose. You probably got rejected because you probably weren't actually qualified for the role that you applied to. And I'm going to tell you right now that you having an AOL email or something from a Hotmail, recruiters don't give two shits about that. I don't even care if your email address is bubblegumgirl@gmail.com. I don't care if it sounds unprofessional. What I care most when I was a recruiter is that, were you qualified for the role? Yes, might I think like, oh, that's a weird email, but that's not why I'm going to disqualify you from a job. I just didn't understand the point of this. There was no value that this added on LinkedIn at all. Yeah, that's everything that I wanted to share. Like, LinkedIn has gotten worse, and trust me, I have seen so many bad things on LinkedIn over the past couple years, especially within the recruiting realm and the job seeker realm. And LinkedIn has also been as a way to just bash recruiters and just say how awful we are, when we're really not the problem. At least, not always. So, I'll leave it at that. That's a whole nother can of worms that I won't get into. But I'm curious to know, what are some of the worst things you've seen on LinkedIn? I'd love to hear in the comments down below. And if you liked this video and you got some giggles out of it, do make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And with that, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!